The Voynich Manuscript is one of the most enigmatic artifacts to ever be uncovered, and remains a mystery despite several recent claims that it has been deciphered by artificial intelligence algorithms. The parchment paper of the manuscript was carbon dated to the medieval era during the 15th century, somewhere between 1404 and 1438. Part of it is believed to relate to herbal medicine and human well-being. Some skeptics say it could even be a hoax due to the unusual features contained within the text itself. Now, it's time to uncover the history of the mysterious Voynich Manuscript. The manuscript was named after Wilfrid Voynich, a Polish book dealer who purchased it in 1912. It is believed to have been written in Italy during the Italian Renaissance period. It has a total page number of 272, but only 240 of these have been found, with the text written left to right, and many of the pages containing diagrams and illustrations. Using modern technology such as multispectral analysis and protein testing, experts were able to discover that the parchment paper that the text was written on was made of calf skin. The ink itself was made of iron gall and written most likely with a quill, as was the tradition during this time. Much of the early history of the book is unknown, though the text and illustrations are all characteristically European. MacLeod Associates in Westmont, Illinois, found that the paints in the manuscript were of materials to be expected from medieval European history. The first confirmed owner was George Baresh, an obscure alchemist from Prague. He sent a sample copy of the script to a Jesuit scholar named Athanasius Kircher for interpretation, but refused to yield the entire manuscript over to Kircher. Upon the death of Baresh, it was passed over to his friend Johann Marcus Massey. Massey sent the manuscript on to Kircher, as they knew each other very well and were in fact good friends. Massey believed that Kircher was the only person capable of interpreting and deciphering the manuscript, and sent the following letter to him. Reverend and distinguished Sir, Father in Christ, this book, bequeathed to me by an intimate friend, I destined for you, my very dear Athanasius, as soon as it came into my possession, for I was convinced that it could be read by no one except yourself. The former owner of this book asked your opinion by letter, copying and sending you a portion of the book from which he believed you would be able to read the remainder, but he at that time refused to send the book itself. To its deciphering he devoted unflagging toil, as is apparent from attempts of his which I send you herewith, and he relinquished hope only with his life. But his toil was in vain, for such sphinxes as these obey no one but their master, Kircher. Accept now this token, such as it is, and long overdue though it be, of my affection for you, and burst through its bars, if there are any, with your wonted success. Dr. Raphael, a tutor in the Bohemian language to Ferdinand III, then King of Bohemia, told me the said book belonged to the Emperor Rudolph, and that he presented the bearer who brought him the book 600 ducats. He believed the author was Roger Bacon, the Englishman. On this point, I suspend judgment. It is your place to define for us what view we should take thereon. To those who favour and kindness I unreservedly commit myself, and remain at the command of your reverence. Johann Marcus Massey of Kronland, Prague, 19th of August 1665. In 2016, a scientific paper was published by Professor Greg Contrac, who purported that he and a graduate student had trained several computer algorithms to decipher anagram texts written in unknown languages or scripts. That these algorithms would pick up on certain metrics, like how often each letter and each combination of letters appear. With this, they could create a statistical fingerprint that could be compared to other languages. This process did not involve neural networks or deep learning, just good old-fashioned statistical analysis, aka lots of counting and percentages. And it worked, well, not too badly anyway. According to Professor Slowmoargaman, a computational linguist at Illinois Institute of Technology, the preliminary test results are perhaps slightly questionable, but not more so than many other results often published in the scientific literature. And so, with their algorithmic pattern matcher trained and tested, Contrac turned to the Voynich Manuscript. Here, say experts, is where things really started to go downhill. Contrac claimed that the manuscript was most likely written in Hebrew, as this was the highest scoring match and was made up of anagrams. Their algorithm was trained on modern day languages, but the manuscript is carbon dated to the 15th century. So, if it was originally written in Hebrew, it would have been written in 15th century Hebrew. The grammar, spelling and vocabulary would have been quite different, especially for a manuscript like the Voynich that is scientific as opposed to biblical or liturgical in nature. The trouble with using an algorithm that is based on percentages is that it isn't scientifically rigorous and leaves things open to assumptions and more leeway in interpreting the results. Just because something appears many times doesn't mean that that is the answer. Professor Argamon said that the likelihood of their published paper being correct is so close to 0% that it makes no practical difference. The overall impression given by the surviving leaves of the manuscript is that it was meant to serve as a pharmacopoeia or to address topics in medieval or early modern medicine. However, the puzzling details of the illustrations have fueled many theories about the book's origin, the contents of its text, and the purpose for which it was intended. The first section of the book is almost certainly related to herbs, but attempts have failed to identify the plants, either with actual specimens or with the stylized drawings of contemporaneous herbals. Only a few of the plant drawings can be identified with reasonable certainty, such as wild pansy and the maidenhair fern. So, what is known of the book is very little, and its true message and purpose remains a mystery. Perhaps in a few more years, cryptographers will be able to decipher the text, and we will finally know what it was intended for. I'd love to know what you think of the Voynich manuscript, so why not leave a comment with your thoughts? If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel and you like strange but true stories like this, then you should definitely subscribe for weekly content. Thanks for watching.